Hopefully everything's working. Things don't always go my way, but I really hope everything is functioning correctly. I'm gonna actually gonna view this live stream on the gaming.youtube side of things, which I usually never do. But all right, let me I'm gonna toss this up on Twitter as well, because why not? Got a little tweet art about it as well. How's it going, Mike S., Ryan Lista, Zachary Kurtz, Jared Rooks, Noah DeJury. Is that a silent D? Jerry? DeJerry? I never really know how those names work. Jared Rooks says, tough loss for the Packers and Cardinals today. I didn't catch the Cardinals game. I was out doing stuff with my kids because that was an afternoon game. But yeah, tough loss for the Packers, but it's life. I don't really feel that torn up about it, especially since the rest of the NFC North didn't exactly do well. Although, then again, the Lions just destroyed the Patriots, so I guess that's good. But I'm not too worried about it. Kind of a yucky field today. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to look like Aaron Rodgers, I don't think, for quite some time. That bulky knee seems to be affecting him more now than before, because when he came back against the Bears, I mean, he had all that adrenaline. Now it's like he's got to work himself up to get to that adrenaline, and it's not just there right away, which is, I think, partially why the offense stagnates. Plus, you got to put Aaron Jones in more. Hopefully that's a change. I know it's this first week back. Hopefully they change that next week. Anyways, not really here to talk about NFL games. I can talk about NFL games if that's all you guys want to talk about, but why is the sky blue? You want me to tell you the real reason the sky is blue? I actually learned this in class once, but I'm just double checking. Here's the official reason from NASA. So, here's why the sky is blue. The light that comes from the sun looks white, but it's really made up of all of the colors of the rainbow. When light shines through a prism, the light is separated into all of its colors. A prism is a specifically shaped crystal. Like energy passing through the ocean, light energy travels in waves too. Some light travels in short, choppy waves, other light travels in long, wavy. Blue light waves are shorter than red light waves. All the light travels in a straight line unless something gets in the way, and does one of these things. Reflect it like a mirror, bend it like a prism, or scatter it like molecules and gases. Sunlight reaches Earth's atmosphere and is scattered in all directions by all of the gases and particles in the air. Blue light is scattered in all directions by the tiny molecules of air in Earth's atmosphere. Blue is scattered more than other colors because it travels as shorter, smaller waves. This is why we see a blue sky most of the time. It also explains why sometimes you see a red sky and stuff like that. So closer to the horizon, the sky fades to a lighter blue or white. The sunlight reaching us from the low in the sky has passed through even more air than the sunlight reaching us from overhead. As the sunlight has passed through all of this air, the air molecules have scattered and rescattered the blue light many times in many directions. So there you go. That's the answer to your question. Why is the sky blue? Why is Reggie's body ready? I can't answer that question. That's a question for Reggie. Will Hilda come to Smash? That's a big NO. Hilda's not going to come to Smash. I'd like to see Hilda in Smash, but Hilda's not going to come to Smash. I mean, I'm not saying obscure characters don't come to Smash sometimes, but that's a really obscure character. It's not going to happen. Note 9 tech support in the house. Ahmed A. How's it going, man? My Note 9 is actually over there charging right now. I don't have a charge cable plugged in over here. I was using my Switch USB port to charge it before, but it's whatever. If I had any question about the Note 9, one thing I'm curious about, I just need to Google search it. What do you do with the, okay, say I want to record a video, right? Like I know how to do, like, take images and stuff with the S Pen. What's the sequence of button presses to make when I have the camera open, to make it record a video when I'm not actually there to hit the button to record video? That I'm curious about, because lately I've been making like these silly dance videos with my kids, and I got all this professional camera equipment stuff, but this is just stuff for my family. So I've been actually curious, like, is there a way that I can use the S Pen to start the recording of the video and stop the recording of the video without me having to go up and do it myself? It's not really a huge deal. It doesn't really matter. But it's just a feature I was thinking of today. I'm like, I bet the S Pen has that, because it's got a way to take screenshots. Jackie, my boy, hit us with that $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Not doing shots tonight. My kids got pictures in the morning, and I'm going to be waking up early with them, along with my fiance, so we can get them all dressed up and ready. And I not that I don't normally wake up, but who knows? If the night gets crazy with super chats, I don't want to sleep in unintendedly. Why is the chat not on screen? That's a very good question. Hold on. I think I can fix that. The reason the chat is not on screen, and the reason that alert box didn't pop on screen, is because I didn't have it pop up on screen. Hold on. Alert box. Okay, there we go. Now the alert box and chat box should. They were underneath the video camera. I had to reset the video camera, and I forgot to move the chat and the alert box back up. So now next super chat donations, those should pop up on the top right over here, and the chat should be over here. All right, and let's see what this is looking like on the gaming that YouTube side of things. It's looking pretty good. All right. Ryan Lista. Oh wait, well, we had some questions before that. I was just playing West of Loathing. Have you played it? It's hilarious. I have not played it. Don't even know what that is. Is it any game? I just haven't heard of it. Will you ever consider reviewing Switch games? Why or why not? So, I actually haven't gotten this question in a while. I most definitely want to review Switch games. Just review games in general, but obviously we're a Nintendo channel, review Switch games. I've done some reviews. I think what was the last review I did? The last game review I did, not product review. Let me actually check. What was the last review I did? And why does it say I'm playing Fortnite? Oh, because I got to delete it from there when I'm not playing Fortnite. Okay, don't want YouTube to yell at me about that. Let me see here. Let's go to product review. So the last review I did was actually of Mario Tennis Aces. And then the last review before that, game-wise, was the Tiny Metal. And I also reviewed Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. So I guess the real question is, why don't I do reviews more often? Because clearly I have done some. And all of them did all right. Our Mario Tennis Aces has like 1.4K views. Our Tiny Metal review, that's got 3.3K views. And way back, last year, 1.4K on Mario plus Rabbids. Obviously, and if I did more game reviews, I would, the viewership of my reviews would go up. The fact that I don't do them consistently is going to lead to an inconsistent audience for game reviews because I'm not doing them. The thing is to review a game is a very time-consuming affair. It's something that I have a passion to do, but I'm not sure if I have the time to pull it off. And I see all these other solo channels out there covering all the news and throwing out rants and opinions and podcasts and still reviewing all these games. I often wonder how they're doing it because I'm still swamped with what I already do. On top of that, I have 3 children that I'm raising, And my fiance now, she's working, so she's not even available to watch. Like even though my 2 older kids might be at school, my youngest is not, so she's not really available to watch my youngest. And now I have to watch him all day. And my fiance's not back until late at night because her work hours are really long. So I basically have my kids all day, and I try to get work done when I can, and I still end up putting 40, 50, 60 hours in a week. It's I like game reviews. We actually have a goal on Patreon at patreon.com/Nintendo Prime, where if we hit, I think it's $300 per month, I will be doing at least 1 game review a month, which for some people is not a lot. There's channels that do a game review a week. But it's a starting point. All that goals does is tell me that there's enough interest, basically, that people want to pay some money to me to ensure that I am being compensated for the review. Because here's the thing. To review any game, even if we were a PlayStation 4 channel and I was reviewing PlayStation 4 version of, or the only version of the new Spider-Man game, which is about 15 hours or so to 100%. All right, shorter game, no big deal, right? 100% it. Well, you have to play through the game. You have to take notes while you're playing through it, so it's going to probably be more than 15 hours just because you have all these little notes you need to take that you want to include in the review, some thoughts here and there, things you don't want to forget about. On top of that, even after you played through the game, unless you recorded your entire playthrough, which is ideal, it is ideal to record your entire playthrough, you have to go back through the game again to record footage of certain areas that you want to use for the review. This can become very, very difficult and very time-consuming to do that. This is why it's cool to record your whole playthrough. The problem is it takes up a lot of storage space I don't really have much of. I need to get some bigger hard drives. But that's just an aside. I can, find $50 or whatever, get a 4 terabyte hard drive or whatever, and you're just to do game reviews. It's just a time-consuming affair. And on top of that, since I don't get review copies of games, or at least I barely ever get review copies of games, I'm trying to change that with third-party companies. I'm trying to get Ubisoft and EA and all these other companies that when they do bring Switch games over to Bethesda, that maybe I can get review copies in the future, but I don't get review copies. So it means that my review is going to come out after the game comes out, which isn't a big deal. That's true of a lot of channels, a lot of YouTubers. When they do game reviews, they're not there day and date, and that's fine. What matters is what the review says and getting it out sometime while the game is still, relevant, which is usually within the first few weeks. And again, that's something I can do, but also we live stream. So when a big game comes out like Super Smash Bros., and say we want to do a review of Super Smash Bros., well, a lot of the time that I set aside to play that game is going to be playing it on live streams. Which, while I can use some of that footage in the review, I can't use a lot of it because of the notifications and all this other stuff going on. And so, again, I'd have to spend all these hours off of live stream recording footage, which, again, is not a huge deal. But all these little things add up, and that's just the recording of footage, the playing through of the game, and the taking of notes. Then there's the actual writing out of the review to complete your full thought process and deciding, if you're going to use a scoring system or if you're not going to use a scoring system, then you're going to use a recommendation system, or are you just not going to use any sort of system and you're just going to say, this is my thoughts on the game. It's up to you if you want to buy it. Like, there's all these different factors to fill in. Then you get to the actual editing finally. You record the audio for it all, and then you finally get to the editing, which, again, by the time you record all the audio, you realize you need other gameplay clips, so you got to go back and record again. Anyways, and you throw it all together, and you end up with, about 15 to 20 hours worth of just straight editing on a review. And before you know it, you have spent over 100 hours on the review for Spider-Man for PlayStation 4. A 15-hour game to 100%. But 100 hours to create that review as a person on my own without a team able to do some of these things for me. Other places have teams. As an example, Easy Allies, you'll have the person that plays the game and then writes the review, right? And then you'll have one person who's doing the voiceover work for the review, another person that's recording the footage for the review, and then another person that might be editing the review. So that's 5 people to create one review. It really quickens the pace you can do reviews at. Whereas for me, it's one person doing all of the above. So it's a very time-consuming thing. And the thing is, because we're a Nintendo channel, what doubly makes it worse is when we do a review of Smash Bros. Or if we did one of Splatoon last year, or we do one of Super Mario Party coming out in, 2 weeks? A week and a half? If we do a review of those games, because they're Nintendo games, Nintendo's going to copyright claim them. So now you put in this 100 hours of work to create this review of this Nintendo game, positive, negative, or in between, and you end up not being able to make any money off of that review. And that's a very disheartening thing. And yes, there's a lot of people that just make reviews willy-nilly and don't care about the money. But this is kind of my job. Like, I have other jobs, but far and away, YouTube for me is my largest source of revenue. It is my biggest check I get every month because I dedicate the most time to doing this job. So I can't just justify to me, as someone with a family, spending 100 hours and making zero money off of it. Now you could say, well, then just don't review Nintendo games. Do indie games. Well, indie games don't get as many views. Third-party games. Well, there's not a lot of third-party games always coming out all the time. So there's a lot of factors to consider in here. And then some of the third parties also copyright strike and claim your videos. So that's what the Patreon's for. Basically, all the money from 200 to 300, when we hit that 300 goal on Patreon, what that tells me is that I have a $100 budget to make one review. Now remember, you have to buy the game. I have to buy my game. So it's like, oh, I'm going to review Super Mario Party. Well, $60 of that $100 budget isn't even paying me. It paid for the game for me to review. So then I got $40 left to pay for the actual work that I have to put into it. And 100 hours, what is that? Let's just hit the calculator here quick. What's 100 hours? Or what's 40? What's 40 divided by 100 here? I mean, you're looking at 40 cents an hour, and that's for me being willing to do a review and only make 40 cents an hour. And obviously, you could end up making some ad revenue. Maybe you get lucky. Maybe the system doesn't catch it right away. Maybe it's a game from like Ubisoft. Ubisoft doesn't usually copyright claim. So if I reviewed Starlink Battle for Atlas, chances are that would be okay, and I could still make some ad revenue off it. But again, if you only get like 1,000, 2,000 views on that, that equates to like $3, $4, something like that. You'd be lucky if you make $5 off of that. And that kind of can give you an idea of what I make like per video. Like a 1.1K on my review of that Switch case. Well, that was an easy thing to do. That only took up a couple hours of my day, and I made about $5 on that. $5, $2.50 an hour. So like when you do working 60 hours, I'm not really making even minimum wage for 60 hours. So it's a lot of work. That's really the primary reason I don't do reviews is the amount of work it takes, because I don't want to half-arse reviews. If you did my Mario Tennis one, you looked at my Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom, I look at my Tiny Metal, like I beat the games. I'm not one of those people that don't beat the game. I beat the games. I try out all the modes. I formulate thoughts on everything. I examine what I like, what I don't like, and it's just I love doing it, but I can't justify doing it in the moment. Now we hit that $100 goal. I'm promising that I will, the $300 overall goal on Patreon. We're at $229, I think, right now. So like $71 away. We hit that. I'm promising one review a month, and the patrons will decide which game that is. Sometimes the game's going to probably be a pretty obvious choice. Like I think, was it October? Well, maybe October wouldn't be obvious. I don't know if they would choose Super Mario Party or I think Starlink comes out that month as well. So I'm not sure what will get chosen, but. Yeah, it's just a thing. I want to do more of them. I just can't justify, for the sake of my family, finding 100 hours, to do it and taking away from other work I'm doing that does make me money, and I can get more of it out and make more money. Like if I can get 3 videos out a day that all get like 1,000+ views, I just made $15 versus one review that took me, 2.5 weeks, and, I get, I don't know, like $5 if it's not copyright striked. And that's what sucks about when you are running this thing and you have a family and you got to consider all these things. Is like if I was just let me give you an example. If I did not have children and I was just this single guy living on my own in a little apartment, I would be doing reviews all day, man. I'd have nothing but time on my hands. I would be doing just fine as a channel. So say we only pull $1,000 in Wisconsin, I could survive off that if I needed to. With a family, no. So that's just a lot. Again, I love reviews. I want to do more of them. Don't have the time because of my kids, and I can't justify making time for it since I don't really make any money doing reviews. It's like a net loss on me to do reviews. So I want to get to it. I'm surprised I still do product reviews. Thankfully, product reviews usually don't take as long. Like that's just a benefit of accessories and stuff like that. Like, yeah, you use the accessory, you put it in a bunch of different situations. I think the longest accessory review I did was the RAV Power ones. And the reason that the RAV Power power banks took so long to review, which heck, I got one right here. I still use it on my Switch on my phone today. The reason that those power banks took so long for me to review is because I was doing a lot of testing, a lot of battery testing, a lot of just various testing in general that could take several hours. Thankfully, you can walk away for a lot of it, but then you got to go back to the footage and find the timestamps. How long did the battery last in this situation? How long did it last in this situation? And then there's a situation where, okay, how long does it last when I'm actually playing the game? And then you got to sit down and find like a nice 15-hour play session where you could just play your Switch in a row until it dies, and that's hard to find. And that was probably the one I put the most time into. Product review wise, not game review wise. I think that one was about I want to say probably 80 hours of testing. But in terms of me actively having to do something and not just putting a camera on it and walking away, I would say it was probably more like 40 hours, and that's a lot on a product review. When it's just like an accessory or a power bank, right? And plus, there's multiple USB ports, and there was a USB-C charger on the once, and I had to test their quick charge, their normal USB 2.0 port, and then I had and I did it all with the official Nintendo cables. Anyways, that one, and maybe not surprisingly enough, that is one of our top viewed product reviews. Is that one? It's super in depth, but it's a product that I felt required that kind of depth. Because this was at a time when we weren't sure if power banks were safe to use with Switch. And my other one that did really well was the mini dock. That's about a 15-minute review of the SwitchCon, which you can't even buy. You can buy similar things to it, but I wouldn't even suggest using it. Back then, it worked just fine. Then Nintendo did some OS updates, and now it's just not worth the risk. The power delivery is not 100% right on it. But that one took me a long time too, because I was still using my cell phone back then, so like getting my grainy cell phone footage of all this, I have a much better. It'd be easier for me to do that product review now. I have a whole setup over here with the TV and everything. Like, man, I can review docs in a hurry now, but back then, like, I had to do it upstairs in the TV with my kids in the room, and it just blah blah blah. Anyways, I think I've talked long enough about that one question. So yes, I want to do it. Unfortunately, it doesn't make financial sense for me to do them, even though I have a passion for them. And if all I could say is, if you really want me to do game reviews, go to our Patreon at patreon.com/NintendoPrime and consider supporting this for as little as $1 a month. The $5 tier gets you early access to the audio version of the podcast, which is out right now. Our next podcast episode is out right now on Patreon, but only for Patreon backers. $10 to see it live, $20 to be on an episode of the podcast, or there's a $100 advertising tier as well. Like if someone wants me to advertise your YouTube channel or whatever, for $100, I'll put some ads out for you during that month in various videos, and it's a promotional spot. But yeah, it's like I want people to support for those long-term goals. We have that $300 goal right now to get one review out. Maybe we'll put up a $500 goal after that to get 2 to 3 reviews out per month. And again, I'm still taking a hit, still making that 40 cents per review, but At least in the back of my mind, I can say, hey, look, I'm getting, I'm getting reimbursed for the game, and then I'm making an extra 40 on top. For me, that's enough, I guess, for now. For me to want to continue doing it. Whatever. You guys have heard enough on that. Let's see what other questions we have. Robert Cabrera says, have I ever thought of doing a collaboration with Rich of Review Tech USA? Sure. I reached out to him a few times in the past, and he never responded, which I get. I know he knows what my channel is, or at least is aware. He's heard of me now, because when he was looking for information on Nintendo Switch Online stuff, one of my videos popped up, and he referenced my channel and my video and linked to it in one of the videos he made covering the topic. So he's aware of who I am now, but it doesn't mean that he necessarily wants to do a collaboration with me. I think a collaboration would be cool. I know a lot of people compare Rich and I. Some of it's probably because we're both rather large men. No, he's not old enough to be my dad. Like, literally, the difference in our ages from him to me is like the difference in age from me to my fiance. He's not even close to old enough to be my dad. But there's times I can see, especially when I do voiceover gameplay stuff and I'm ranting, where it could be like, oh man, it's kind of like I'm watching another Rich from Review Tech USA. But that's not really my goal with those kind of videos. It's mostly because I was under a time crunch. Or the original video I made, the footage didn't turn out, or the audio got borked. And now I don't have time to re-record that, so I'd rather get that news out or get that rant out now than just not get anything out and have to delay it, especially when it's news. News is usually not something you want to push off, because there's a small window of getting that news out when it's going to be relevant to your audience. Now, when we're large enough, that won't matter as much. The bigger we get, the more time I can take on that kind of stuff. But at our size, viewership is greatly dependent on timeliness of getting news out. News recaps kind of give you a little, like Prime News, that gives me a little leeway, but we're still not back in the full Prime News swing. Hopefully tomorrow. I was hoping to bring Prime News back tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see. I got to make sure my setup works for it, which is awesome. There's some other things I got to test. All right, so Ahmed was telling me, first go to camera, take out the pen, click on the air menu, and S Pen actions should open. After that, you click on it to choose which buttons you want to use to record videos. Oh, okay. Cool. See, I haven't played around with the S Pen a lot, so I knew the S Pen was going to be one of my least used features of the Note 9, but I do really like the idea of fully controlling the camera with the S Pen. There's just a lot of situations where I don't want someone else holding my phone to do something. Like, I have lots of stands. Just pop out a stand and put it on there, and then I'll do it myself with the S Pen. But of course, there's not really an indicator light on the front that it's working either. That's kind of the weird thing too. I mean, I guess I could just selfie it, but then the selfie camera's not as good. Whatever. Can I do a shimmy for your viewers? No, ridiculous. I'm not going to. Especially for you, ridiculous. Don't think I don't read your comments. Kind of poking fun, basically at the way I look or my weight in my videos. I see it. I just choose to ignore it. Joy-Con Nation says, guess what? Nintendo is still your primary gaming. But I bought an Xbox One X, and it's my first non-Nintendo system. As much as it kind of hurts to say, it's pretty good. Yeah, I don't own an Xbox One X. Me and my sister bought one for my dad last holiday because it has all the games on it that he wants to play. And he's got a 4K TV, and then it plays it at the games he wants to play at 4K better than a Pro does. So got him that, and he loves it. He uses it all the time. It helps that it also has the nice 4K Blu-ray stuff, which is cool because now he actually has a 4K Blu-ray player. He had one before, but it was kind of finicky, and he told me that the X has a lot less issues with 4K Blu-rays than the one he had before. And considering how much money he spent on that one, he probably should have just bought an X in the first place, but he wasn't thinking about video game consoles at the time when he bought it. And yes, my parents do watch. Dude, I will say, when you stream 4K Netflix, it looks fantastic, right? But when you put in that 4K Blu-ray and it's native, oh man. Dude, the native 4K is stunning. in comparison to just streaming 4K. Oh, it's so good. Anyways, I'm kind of a tech junkie, so let's see here. Is your passion on Christ levels? Jeez. West of Loathing's indie games, $11 in the eShop. Nice. Oh, it's got stick figure art? That doesn't put me up. I used to play a lot of stick figure games. They were usually Flash games, but they were a lot of fun. Your fiance's a go-getter. She's the breadwinner? No, she's not. See, again, what did I mention about ridiculous? He likes to make fun of me, even though I've been the breadwinner in the family for 8 years. And I still am. But, sure. Let's see here. Now is the time to promote your video game / tech channel. Yeah, I do have a second channel. Gosh, I don't even have a link ready for you, guys. Seriously, I can't believe I don't have a link handy. Looking up my channel, it doesn't even pop up sometimes because it's so small. There it is. So yeah, I do have a new-ish channel. It's actually been around for a little bit. At least 9 months, because that's when I put out the first video on it. I've only got 4 videos on it. I did the Telltale Games video on there, which is almost our #1 viewed video on there. It's short by like 4 views for being our top viewed video. But if you want to subscribe to that, go ahead. I'm looking to expand content I do besides Nintendo. I love Nintendo. My content's not going to slow down here. But when I have time, I want to throw out some other gaming news videos over there. I want to throw out some talk about technology. What's happening in different spaces. I have like a Samsung, Note 9. I wouldn't mind talking about that sometime in my experience as like what I would think is an average consumer of phones adapting the high-end, Android device that is built for power users and the whole S Pen thing and if that matters to me and all that stuff. I think I would like to do stuff like that as well. I mean, I can't do that stuff all the time, of course, because that requires me to buy new phones, and I can't afford to do that all the time. But every couple of years, I guess I can do one. But yeah, I don't know, just stuff like that. I would like to create videos like that, and I have a channel for it, which I have linked here. My second channel. So you guys can go subscribe to that if you want. I don't know when my next video is coming to that. I just did a video yesterday for it. Probably Tuesday, Wednesday. When I have a little bit of time, I'll get another video out. Most of the videos I'm not going to be on camera there for unless it's a product that I'm talking about that I have on hand. But if I'm just doing news, I'm going to probably avoid being on camera for videos on that channel outside of product stuff because it just takes more time to edit and put together. And that's my second channel. So that's stuff I'm doing on the side, which means it's going to be a lot of voiceover gameplay. It's just easier to do. Just being completely honest on that front. So if you love my voiceover gameplay stuff, well, that channel's going to have a lot of it. Especially for news on Sony and Xbox and PC gaming and other stuff. Let's see here. You're not a yes man. Not sure why people would... You're not a yes man. Not sure why people would trust you with reviews, your honest opinion. Well, here's the thing. You don't have to be a yes man to get review copies. You really don't. With Nintendo, you got to be a little kinder. I don't think kinder is the right kind of word. They don't really care what you say in your reviews. Your channel has to be my channel would have to be a little more family friendly, for them to allow me to get review copies. It's got nothing to do with your critical opinion of the games. It has to do with my approach to my videos, my approach to live streams, the fact that I allow swearing, all that kind of stuff. Nintendo's really not digging that kind of thing. As for third parties, most of them don't care. Unless they give you a big game they're hyped for. Like, say I get Anthem from EA, and I just trash the hell out of that game. Yeah, they're probably not going to give me review copies anymore. But to get review copies, that's not how it starts. I've gotten review copies at other jobs I've had before, and that's not at all how it works. Most companies are fine with your criticisms. Especially if you don't have a score attached that counts on Metacritic, then they really don't care. They care a lot about their Metacritic scores. So my reviews wouldn't count on Metacritic, so they would care even less. They just want the free promotion. It's usually the way it works. I think Ubisoft and Bethesda, especially, I think are two companies I'm heavily targeting right now to try to get review copies from, because those companies create, a decent amount of Nintendo games, and they're more than likely to get at least decent reviews from me, I would think. I don't think they've released any games on the platform yet that I hate. So, obviously, indie game reviews are always really easy to get. Basically, if there's an indie game I want, I could probably just tweet at the developer and they'll probably give me a review copy. And I'm not saying they're all like that, but a lot of indie studios are more than willing to hand out review codes to get exposure. Even if I'm not doing a review, if I do a live stream of it, something like that, usually they're more than willing to do that kind of stuff. So when people talk about indie games, like, oh, it's $11, I can get it for free probably. But I usually don't. I think the only review I've never asked for an indie game review copy. If they're offered to me and they just hand me the code, sure, I'll use it. They already generated the code anyways. But all my other indie games, I just buy them. I'd rather give my money to the developers that are working hard on this stuff. Like, if you never noticed on the Switch, I have this hamster game on there. It's not very good, for me anyways. There's probably someone out there that would like it, but it's not my kind of game. And the only reason I have that is because a review code was sent to me. It's not because it's something I would have chose to buy. But, yeah. Let me see here. Oh, hey, did the GOG coins work? Nope, I still don't have them. I'll probably spend some time tomorrow trying to sort out what's up with GOGBox. For those who don't know, GOGBox is a way to like support me and give me some cash without you having cash. It's one of those apps, like one of those things where you go to it and you download apps and you just try out the apps for a little bit, and then they give you credit that you can then throw at me, and then it's kind of like doing surveys. Some people would prefer to do surveys, but I don't really push it super hard. It's just one of those things we have. It's a way to support us, but right now I wouldn't suggest using the GOGBox link in the description, because I don't think the revenue is coming through to me right now. GOGBox updated a lot of stuff, so it's on me. I probably have to go in there and change some settings and mess around, and I haven't done that yet. It's on my whiteboard as a to-do thing, along with the giant words, update Patreon. Although I already updated Patreon, so I can probably erase that now. But let me see here. Boomstick Gaming is a one-man team, and he puts out great reviews consistently and still had time to take down Philip. Well, the takedown of Philip wasn't that difficult. He was watching the review, and he's like, oh, hey, look, you know your review inside and out. So all you got to do is listen to his review, cut out the clips that are exactly word for word what you said, and then just put them together. That's actually not a very difficult thing to do when it's based off a piece of content you already have. It's actually something you usually enjoy doing, or in his case, when he did it, he was just concerned and confused. He literally, when he put out that video, was just, what do I do about this? Like, this is IGN. Like, it's not like I'm gonna go after IGN hardcore here. They could crush me. But thankfully it all worked out for him. And yeah, he's a one-man team, and he puts out a lot of great reviews. And that's awesome. And I think the reason he's able to do that is because it's not a job, ironically enough. What's interesting when you're just doing YouTube for fun and it's not a job, it means, one, he has another job. So all he's doing this is in his free time. And what does he spend a lot of his free time probably doing? Playing games. So his free time when he's not working, he's spending playing games, and he just buys a game he's interested in, plays it to completion, and then he makes a video about it. And then he moves on to the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. That's what's kind of cool about a channel like Boomstick Gaming, where he doesn't care about the revenue. I mean, he cares, but he's not doing it for a living. Or maybe he is doing it for a living now, I don't know, but he wasn't doing it for a living. So he made all the money he needed to make working a 9-to-5 or wherever he works, and then he would spend all of his free time, instead of raising children and all the things that like I have to do, he could use it to just play games. Just like when you were a kid. You go to school for 8 hours a day, come home, play games. Hey, we got 10 bits. From Twilly Darkness Dragon 0. Thank you so much for those bits over there. Mac Like a Truck asked over on Twitch, are you playing Octopath Traveler at all? Almost finished with the main chapters. A lot going on there. No. it actually angers me you bringing this up. I sold all my physical games shortly after Octopath Traveler came out, and I just haven't gotten them all back yet. I went over why I had to sell them before. It was a financial situation that I'm no longer in, but it doesn't mean I necessarily have all this money to buy all 15 games back. Or 15, 16, I don't even know. I don't even remember. There were so many of them. I mean, I probably, if I sat down and wrote it all down, I could figure out each game I no longer have, but... and plus my Switch, I can just literally go on my Switch, I guess, and it'll tell me, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's a cart. I don't have that anymore. I had to sell it. But yeah, like I still have the collector's edition box and all the collector's items, but I just don't have the game. Sucks. I do plan to pick it up again eventually. Obviously, I want to rebuild out my physical collection. Just like I need to get Breath of the Wild again, and I need to get Super Mario Odyssey again, and a whole bunch of other games. But it's going to be when I'm in a financial position to do that, or it's just going to be very, very slowly over time I'll rebuild the collection. So I'll get one of the old games here or there, especially if I can get a used sale where it's like a 2-for-1 kind of deal, stuff like that. But because the thing is, I got to keep moving forward. Like my next game purchase is going to be Super Mario Party. Like I got to keep pushing forward. I got to keep up with the recent releases, so it's hard to go back and buy all the games I want to play sometimes in my free time. Because I got to get the extra money to be able to afford to go and get my back catalog back. All right. Let's see here. Lots of stuff going down in the chat, I think. Is that image a new logo? I've actually had that for a while. That is a secondary logo. Basically, when our logo was made, I paid this guy to do some logo work for us. And he gave me all these final design concepts, and this was one of them, and it's fully paid for. I just don't use it on anything. So I figured, you know what's a good use for this logo? As a standalone image whenever I'm just doing a just chatting video, or maybe I can move it up to the side and remake my Q&A thing. Like the Q&A thing's using that standard little background. I think it's kind of nice to put the branding up there, and stuff like that. When it's just going to be me chatting with you guys, unless it's about a specific thing, then I could throw some character art in there and stuff. But, anyways, so let's see here. How dare you bash my kids? I didn't bash my kids. My kids are awesome. Reviews are pointless if you can't get a review on a day one. Sorry, I disagree on that. It might be pointless for you. Not pointless for me. Most of the reviews I like the reviews I like the most, don't come out till like a month after the game came out. So I don't think that's pointless. But that's just me. Let me see here. You think reviews are pointless, Matthew Heinmarsh says. I mean, I can see how anyone can think they're pointless, because the author is only going to be able to speak from their point of view. But that's why it's important that when you're don't care about the outlet the review is coming about. Care about the reviewer. So what happens is you need a history. Here's a game I really, really like. I really like it because of X, Y, and Z. Let me find a review that agrees with me why I like the game, or why I don't like a game, conversely. And then read more reviews from that person on games that you have played and see if your thoughts line up. And if you end up having a very similar thought process to a specific reviewer, that's the reviewer you should read and or watch the video of, because that reviewer is more likely in tune with your taste. And because they're in tune with your taste, it's a better recommendation to buy or not buy. So I don't think reviews are pointless, but you have to find the reviewers you connect with. This is why it's impossible to have too many people reviewing games, because everyone is different. So everyone's going to have a type of reviewer they gravitate to that kind of fits in with their likes and dislikes. So I don't think they're pointless. You just have to find a reviewer that works for you. Or you could be like me and watch like 30 reviews of a game I'm thinking of buying, to just get a wider gambit of opinions on it, and then decide if I want to drop my $60 on it. If it's a game I know I'm not sold on already. Oh, let's see here. Dynamic Kirby, you only get about $5 per 1,000 views. I thought YouTubers made more than that. So here's what you have to remember. When I go on my back end, it might say, oh, you get $9 per 1,000 views, right? Like, or something like that. It'll have a little CPM thing, which it just basically means how many dollars you make per 1,000 views. But here's the thing about that. That's per monetized views, okay? So say I have 1,000 views on that product review I did, all right? Well, 400 of the people that watched it out of that 1,000 might have had ad blocker on. Heck, maybe it was 600. If you have ad blocker running on YouTube, you do not see ads. And because you don't see ads, the YouTuber makes no money off of your view. So that's where it's like, yeah, I only made $5 even though it says $9 CPM, because that's just the amount of people that actually saw the ads. So it's just a really confusing thing. And this obviously changes per country, because the CPM is going to change depending on which country you're watching it from. There are some countries that don't even allow ads that people can watch YouTube from, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of factors. This is a very simplified version of why, say, 1,000 views would equal $5. And to be honest, 1,000 views doesn't always equal $5. Let me give you an example. Let me grab a video. I'll go to my stats right now and kind of give you an idea of why this isn't, even what I'm talking about, it's not really exact either. Let me go to my my other stats here. If I have my phone in front of me, I can just find it super quick, but I don't have it in front of me, so let me go on to analytics. Hey, we got $5 from Jack. Totally agreeable finding a reviewer with your taste. It's part of why I miss Jose Otero at IGN. His taste lined up almost perfectly with mine. Again, thank you so much for the support. And that's the biggest deal with game reviewers. You got to find someone you connect with, and that's why I said there can never be too many. And people's opinions and stuff change over time as well, and maybe they start not having the same opinions as you, so you got to go find somebody else. Let me give you an example here. What's a good video that I can give you? Like, here's a video, not a live stream one, that I made $14 on this month. All right, let me look at the analytics on this video. It's loading up here. All right, so this video has 4,800 views. The video I'm talking about is Activision Director laughs at the prospect of Call of Duty on Switch. It's one of my top earning videos this month. It has made $14.47. It has 4,808 views. Does that equal out to $5 per 1,000 views? I should be almost at 25, right? But I'm not. Ad blockers and all this other stuff that comes into play really lowers your revenue. Now, I want to be clear, this is still amazing to me, because I came from the world of website journalism, written journalism. And on websites, to make $14 on a video or on an article, you would need like 30,000 views or something like that, something crazy like that, to make $14. And that's because basically AdSense is even more rampant on websites, and websites have lower CPM. So you might get like 50-cent CPM per 1,000 views that aren't being blocked, versus a video where you're getting a higher CPM. So even if the same amount of video views are blocked, the ones that do get through, you're making more money on. So like when I see 14.47 today, it kind of makes me go, that sucks, man. It's not even $5 per 1,000. But on the other hand, it's way the hell better than I ever got on a website. In terms of just the amount of views to money made. So, and it obviously just goes exponentially up from there. You get like my top video from this month, or from the past 30 days, I think, is the online Switch service is a mess. Still, that video did really well. Yeah, that one's got 18,000 views, and I got $71 off of that one. So if you go like, what's that, 71 divided by 18... So I got about $3.95 per 1,000 views. So again, under $5. Because if it was $5 per view, what's that? 18 times 5. That's $90. I didn't make $90. I made 71. So, and I don't, and like that's a decent chunk of money. But like if every one of my videos did 15 to 18,000 views, that'd be great. But most of my videos do between 1,000 and 3,000 views. And then every now and then I'll get a video that does like, 10, 18. And usually it's something critical or something controversial. And that sucks. Like when I'm really positive about something, those aren't the videos that usually get views. All right. Can I read your earlier comment? Actually, I can't because it won't load for me anymore. Joy-Con Nation. Again, I know I'm way behind on the chat. Hey, Mark, how's it going? Is the buzzing any better for you, Mark? I know I was still getting buzzing in my videos, but the mic isn't like going crazy over here on my end anymore, so I don't really know what's going on. I have a new mixer now. And I tested these mics outside of this mixer, and there was no buzzing. So there's something going on. I even bought this little thing in case it was a grounding issue. This is a grounding thing that takes care of when you have a ground issue in your loop, because my mixer doesn't use 3 prongs and only has 2, so there's no ground. So I thought maybe it was background noise of grounding, and so I bought this, and this just made it worse. So I don't think grounding's the issue, or this is broken, potentially. But I'm not going to keep buying a bunch of $10, $11 things to fix grounding issues. Like, before you know it, I'll peel through like $100 and still not have the issue fixed. Oh, let's see here. So far, the only reviews I've been interested in a long time is Super Mario Party due to how bad the series has been. You're taking a hit regardless if you do game reviews or not. Not really. Because there's not as big of a time sink. It doesn't take me 100 hours to put out a single video. Like, most of the videos you guys see, especially when they're news related, are made the exact same day. I obviously didn't put 100 hours into it. So you actually are not taking, I mean, you're taking a hit, but you're not taking the same kind of hit you would take on a review. Reviews are massive, like massive hits. But just getting like a news video or a conversation video, those are not very, like, those are all worth the time for me. And then obviously we have our live streams. If I've talked about this before. If I want to be completely honest, I make the most money per hour doing live streams. And the live streams with super chats and donations really carry the channel, but I don't want to be that channel that just, I don't want to be Etika, where all we do is live stream, right? I like standalone videos, and I'm going to keep making standalone videos as the primary form of content we do here. Let me see here. When you need your Nintendo news, you go to Spawncast. Nobody does it better when it comes to gaming news. Well, Spawn Waves. It's cool. He makes good content. Let's see here. Suppose you run out of ideas. You don't really. The thing with doing news is, like, you don't have to have ideas. News just happens. But obviously ideas for original content and conversation pieces, I have tons of those. I have a bunch of top 10s I want to get out as well. Those take a little bit longer. Yeah, I'm not really out of ideas. I've been doing this a long arse time. A long arse time. There's, hey, the 8th Arc donated $5, Australian. Thank you so much. Thanks for showing the love. So yeah. All right. Ridiculous. I doubt you're more than 2% of my stream. Well, maybe this stream's viewership, potentially. But we've had streams that go over 100, over 200 before. And of our total viewership on the channel, we get like 300,000 plus views a month. So your views don't make up that big a percentage as you think it is. And just because you make up a certain percentage of our viewership doesn't mean that some of your comments are warranted, to be honest. Yeah, Nate doesn't need stream. Like, stream viewership doesn't make me money. I don't know if people realize that. If I have 700, like, my most popular live streams, where I've had 100, 200 plus, have been the worst streams for making money. I've made more money off of streams of only having like 15 viewers than I have of 50, 60, 70, 80, 100. And a large reason for that is because the people that do show up are the people that really, really love my stuff and want to show support. Whereas I don't expect all you guys, like the 54, 55, 60 of you watching, I don't expect you guys to all give me money. Come on now. You don't have to give me money. You sit here and enjoy. Ask your questions. I'm going to try to answer all of them. But it's just one of those things where like your viewership inherently means nothing for me financially when it comes to live streams. I don't make ad revenue off of live streams. So your viewership doesn't really help my channel, if I'm being honest. And I don't really care if it does. I hope you're here because you enjoy the content. But that's just me. Let's see here. Let me scroll. Hey, Soul Eater, how's it going? Let me see here. Finally, you're able to catch some streams. That's cool. Well, I'm glad. I hope you're enjoying the stream, Abade, and you're not just here. Hey, Twilight Darkness is with 100 bits over on Twitch. Thank you so much again for your 100 pennies. Michael the Truck over there also says, did I get a new haircut? Looks good. I did get a new haircut. I wasn't planning to get a haircut today, but my oldest son, my middle child, needed a haircut for school pictures tomorrow, and he refused to get one if I didn't also get one. So I'm like, you know what? I want to look fly too. Let's look fly together. As for, he gave 100 mews. That's funny. As for what do I like playing lately? I've been doing some NBA 2K19. A lot of that. I've been playing a little of Madden 19 on my PC. So kind of getting those sports game kicks in. Otherwise, I'm kind of waiting for Arena of Valor to come out. Because I really, I like MOBAs, but I don't really get deep into them very often. And Arena of Valor is a very popular one, and it's going to be free on Switch. So we're actually going to be live streaming Arena of Valor this Friday. Hopefully I get some playtime in with it before then. It comes out on Tuesday, I think. So hopefully I get some playtime in with it before then, so I kind of know what I'm doing by stream time. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun. One I'm debating on getting is City Skyline. I love those city builder kind of games. I own the SimCity from EA. Like one of the first EA purchases in a long time I regret. But like regret entirely. Like I don't regret Madden, but SimCity, yeah. So City Skylines is one I really want to get on Switch. It's just a money thing. I know I need to buy Mario Party next week, so I'm kind of hold off on buying games right now. Otherwise, I've just been playing some Splatoon here and there. We got a Mario Kart tournament we'll be doing tomorrow, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tournament, stuff like that. So that's kind of what my focus has been in the moment on games I'm playing. You missed Telltale already, Mark? Yeah, I hear ya. If you ever make a Note 9 video, I'd be glad to watch or help in any way. Yeah, and the thing is, it's gonna just be if I ever make that Note 9 video on my other channel, it's mostly just going to be a general thoughts. Because I'm not going to like sit there and pretend I absolutely know how to use everything on the phone. That would be a lie. Because I'm not. But I'm going to talk about, it would be talking about from the perspective of how I use phones and what I've been able to discover on this as we go. I think one of the huge things about a phone like Note 9 that's a little daunting is with the S Pen, when it's your first time using one, there's not really anything included with the phone to teach you how to use it very well. The information that comes with the phone is a little lacking on S Pen functionality. So a lot of it you got to Google, which is fine. That doesn't bother me. That's the way the world works. But it would be nice to even have an S Pen tutorial or something that's fleshed out. But then besides the basic, just turn your screen on and write. Like, yeah, that's cool, but like, okay, what else? And plus, there's always a learning curve with apps that are using it as well. But whatever. Again, I don't know if I'm going to make a video on it, but if I do, it's going to be just from my use case and how I feel about it. Because basically, I bought it because it has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. That was the reason I bought it. So, well, that's not the reason. Really, I wanted my insurance claim to go through and just get my S8 Plus back, but whatever. Your second channel has almost 1,000 subs. That's pretty impressive. It actually had over 1,000 subs at one point, and it's just been bleeding subs for 6 months because I haven't been making videos. So technically, it's like almost at 1,000. It was like at 1,100 at one point. So, but that's what happens when you don't make content consistently. You just slowly lose subscribers, and it's life. What happened with the cat? Don't have one. I don't know if my senses came through or it's just because my daughter has been acting like a big brat. So she's been in a lot of trouble this weekend. She has not had a very good weekend. So I think my fiance realized that I was right in saying we shouldn't be rewarding her in this moment. And if we're ever going to reward with a pet, it can't just be about Melody. That was another thing I tried telling her, is it can't just be about Melody. Hey, we got to remember, do our kids want a cat? Do you ask Aiden and Ali if they want a cat? Because if we get a cat or a dog or any sort of pet, it's not just one person. It affects the whole family. So everyone's got to be okay with it. So anyways, I think I got through to her. I hope. Maybe that was the reason, or maybe it's just because my daughter misbehaved. Either way, we don't have that $10 cat she was trying to buy. Bullet dodge for now. For now. As long as that person still has $10 cats to sell, I'm going to be worried that one day she's going to change her mind. But for now, it's in the past, I hope. I just try not to bring it up. Don't bring it up. We don't have the cat here, so just don't bring it up. Call the new channel the Nathaniel Rumful Pants Experience, like Joe Rogan's show. Yeah, I thought about changing it up from my name to something a bit, because my name's a complicated name. Nathaniel spelled differently. There's a hyphen. So I thought about changing it up to something different, something that is still have my name involved in it, or maybe it's a nickname or something. You know, like Jay's 2 Cents out there, like that's a username, but it also has like his name in it. So something like that. I've been thinking of changing that channel's name up, and I need to make that decision before we hit a certain threshold where I'm able to actually brand the channel, and that means I can get a URL that has the name of the channel in the URL, and I want to make sure I have whatever permanent name I want to use there sorted up. And then for now, it's just my name, but I'll probably change it up to something else. I feel like it's good to use your name when you're someone like Jake Paul, Casey Neistat, something like that, where you do vlogs, because the vlog's about you and your life. But when you're doing something like what I'm doing on that channel, it probably should be something else. Your name can be in it, you know, kind of like Linus Tech Tips has Linus's name in it, but it's not just Linus. It's not Linus Sebastian. It's Linus Tech Tips. So it's coming up with a name I think works with my name. You know, Nate's something or whatever. Or, I don't know, Janskin or something, which used to be my nickname back in high school. Let's see here. More family friendly. Put kids in your review. There's some games. We do have Prime Family. There's going to be new episodes of Prime Family coming down the line, especially with Super Mario Party. I want to do some Prime Family episodes with that. At least one. Trying to play that with my kids. Right now, the hard part is I only have the 2 Joy-Cons, and it's Joy-Con only. So I need to get at least one more set of Joy-Cons. So that's another. But once I get the second set of Joy-Cons, then we'll probably go into a Prime Family episode where I introduce my kids to Mario Party because they've never played Mario Party. So it'd be kind of cool to introduce all of my kids at the same time to Mario Party. And see if my youngest can get the hold of it. My 3-year-old. I don't think he's going to understand the motion controls, but I'm sure going to get him to try. All right. Have I ever played the Danganronpa games? Nope. And if you can't tell Super Mario by my pronunciation of it, nope. Oh yeah, I do play a lot of demos on my Switch. I realize that I have a ton of demos downloaded. So basically, if you put a demo out there, developers, I'll play that for sure. Demos are also a good way to see if you're into a game as well. Although sometimes demos can be canned, they can contain the best parts of the game, and the rest of the game doesn't live up to the demo. But I'm hoping that's not what happens with Mega Man 11. All Let me see. It's 11 p.m. right now. The kids should have been asleep. But yeah, the kids are asleep. They've been asleep for 3 hours, I think. I don't know. I was at a movie tonight by myself, getting a break from the kids because I've had, well, I have my kids all the time every day, but my fiance was feeling a little sick, but she decided she wanted to give me a break and watch them and let me kind of go do something else. And I decided, you know what? I want to go see a movie. Haven't seen a movie in a long time. Unfortunately, it's a bad time to go watch movies in my area because there's not a lot of movies out to watch. So I watched Searching, if people want to know what movie I went to watch. I watched Searching, and pretty good. It's a pretty damn good movie. I was surprised at how good it was. Usually it's not the kind of flick I would go watch at a movie theater, but I'm kind of glad I saw it. It was pretty good. Matthew C. donated $5. Usually I donate more often, but my finances have been a little tight lately. I would like to donate a game for Christmas to your channel. Hold on. The rest of that chat vanished on me before I could read it. Let me get back here. It's not like a super chat where it stays up longer. It says, you would like to donate a game for Christmas to your channel. I also want to help you build your gaming collection much more. Would I accept it? I'm assuming Matthew C. is Matthew Campos. Yeah, I remember you used to donate a lot more often, but it's okay. Finances are a thing. We all have to deal with it. Would I accept it? If I have a P.O. box by then. Because I can't stop you from sending me something if I have a P.O. box, because I never know what's going to come. So I can tell you that I'm hoping next month, assuming that everything's going well with bills and I have the spare money, I'm hoping in October to purchase 3 months of a P.O. box and test it out and see if it's worth me keeping it. So basically, I'll prepay for 3 months of the P.O. box, and I'll advertise we have one. I'll let people know they can send stuff to me, whether it's fan art or products or whatever people want to send to me. They can all send it to my P.O. box, and we'll just see how it goes over the next few months. And if it goes well and we're getting a lot of stuff in, I'll know it's a worthwhile investment for me to keep that P.O. box going. But yeah, I'm not going to know until I do it and I see what happens. I know I've had a lot of people ask about sending me stuff before, but how many people would actually send me something is a totally different thing than people asking about sending me something. Like, you want to give me a game, if something happens, you might not be able to. So it's one of those catch-22s. So yeah, just let's wait and see if I get a P.O. box here in the next month, and then sure, I can't stop you from sending me stuff. You know, and generally, if you end up sending me a copy of a game I already have, kind of like when Beat 'em Ups sometimes gets an extra copy of a game he already has, he just gives it away. That's probably what I would do as a general policy. Hey, if you send me a game and I happen to already have it, I'm just going to give it away. Because why not? Why not do giveaways? Giveaways are awesome. Let me see here. Gotta hate YouTubers who have more free time and don't care about the money. They screw over the good YouTubers. I disagree with that. Hey, Jack and Jill, Prime Unboxing. Yeah, that's what's cool too. If I get a lot of fan submissions to the P.O. box, I can do unboxing videos of fan mail. Like, I think that's really cool because I won't even know what it is. Technically, I have a package coming from a developer friend of mine. No idea what it is. But this is someone I know behind the scenes, so he has my actual address. But yeah, there's a package coming of goodies for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's games. I don't know if it's collectibles. He told me it's not junk. It's stuff I want, or stuff that he would assume that if I had the money, infinite money, I would just buy. So I don't. He's got contacts in the industry, friends in the industry. I don't know what's coming. So like. That's the thing. Like, it's kind of cool having a P.O. box for people that just randomly send stuff to. I mean, dude, if people start sending me hand drawings of things, like that would just, you know, it's just like when my kids draw stuff for me. It's just like, man, really? That's really cool. Like, someone drew me a Mario hat. Like, that's awesome. Someone bought me a pack of Pokemon cards. Heck yeah. Like, let's go. I think that kind of stuff is fun. I don't know if people would ever take advantage of it, but I guess until I get a P.O. box and I mention I have it, you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. But let me see here. Scroll down. Black Friday. Yeah, Black Friday deals. Oh, as for the gotta hate YouTubers that have more free time and don't care about the money, they're not really screwing anyone over. Like the guy we were just talking about before that does all those reviews, like, he's not screwing me over. He does make, it does create a general opinion on how easy it is to make stuff, which is not true, and he'd be probably the first to tell you that it's not easy. But yeah, it's not really screwing anyone over. You know, if anything, it's something to aspire to. I hope to get to the point where I have the ability to do that. And that'll probably be at a point when it'll be easier when all my kids are in school. So during the school year anyways. And then hopefully I'm making enough money at that point that during the summer they can go to summer camp. That's kind of the big thing, is I have a kid with me 24/7, 365. If I get that 8-hour period where, hey, they're in school, guess who's working while they're in school? Guess who's working while they're at daycare or summer camp? So some of that's a financial thing for summer, having enough money to do that, which is like $600 a month. It's not cheap, but that sends all three of them, which is really cool. And then obviously when my youngest is old enough to be in school all day long, yay, that creates more time for me as well. I don't have to do so much work at night. Right now I do a lot of works at night, and I hate it because nighttime is basically the only time I have to spend time with my fiance. And right now I have to work all the time. Right now she's sleeping. It's not a big deal. She's sick. She's not feeling good. It's neither here nor there right now. But a lot of nights, you know, when I'm streaming till midnight, streaming till 1 a.m., like, my fiance's home like a large chunk of that time, but I'm not with her because I was making videos and doing content, doing this and that, and then I had to get my live stream in and all this stuff. Like, it just, like, that's why I want my live streams to be sooner. If I start them at 7 or 8, I'm done by 10. That's great. But unfortunately, the timing is not working out for that right now. We'll get there. We'll get there. What I'm saying is things are going to improve over time. But I think things are improving already. I feel like I'm starting to get in a groove now that I'm done with a lot of the studio building. I mean, I'm not done entirely, but I'm done, I think, to the point that at least monetary investment into the studio. So I think things are starting to get more stable. I've been trying to make it more consistent with how much content I'm getting out. Joy-Con Nation says, I almost hate to think I'm becoming a fan of Xbox, and you're not a graphics card, but man, Halo looking super amazing. I don't even have a 4K TV. Yeah, I don't know why you hate it. It's okay to be fans of more than one thing. You don't have to be a graphics whore to be a fan of Xbox and PlayStation. Yeah, for physical, you can't get out of crisis times with digital. Yeah, I guess. But yay for digital, because it also means I didn't sell my entire gaming collection. I can tell you right now, if every game on my Switch I owned as a physical version, it would have got sold at the same time my other physical games got sold. So you can look at it as, yay for physical. You can't get out of a crisis by selling digital games, but yay for digital, because it still means I have games I can keep playing. That's one thing I've always liked about PC. Of course I still have PC games. Of course I still have most of my PC games because they're digital. I can't get rid of them. I can't sell them. Would you say for sports games it's better to go physical or digital due to the lack of trade value? I always say for sports games, physical is the best because there is trade value. Here's the thing: what you have to do when you have a sports game is they usually still sell for $40-$50 brand new well into the season. So as an example, if you have Madden's eventually going to be added to the Vault. Like, if you own Xbox, Madden's going to be added to the Vault, which is like $5 a month. And you can keep playing it. So what you do is you get the physical version of Madden. You get, close to about, 10, 11 games into the season. Then you sell your copy of Madden to GameStop or eBay or whatever, and get the max money you can for it. Then later, when it comes to EA Play, then you can just get EA Play, and it's like you just went without your game for a couple months. It's not a big deal. That's what I do with sports games anyways. NBA 2K18 was a different story because, well, I'm never selling, well, I shouldn't say I'm never, but I don't plan to sell NBA 2K19 because it's got Giannis Antetokounmpo on the cover, which is my favorite player in the NBA and obviously the star of the Milwaukee Bucks. So that's like a thing for me. I just like to have that in my collection, just like I used to keep Quarterback Club 98 because it had Brett Favre on the cover, stuff like that. So yeah, I always say go physical because any yearly sports title, go physical because some trade in value to put towards the next version of the game, even if you wait till the summer before that game comes out, is better than no trade in value. Because when you buy it digitally, you don't have any value for that. So I always say buy physical for sports games if you plan to upgrade every year, because getting something back for your purchase is better than nothing. Usually it's like $5 if you wait until like a month before the other game comes out. Not the greatest time to sell it, but have I seen the Bowsette fan arts? Yeah, I've seen some. Not a lot, but I've seen some. How far back am I? I don't think too far. I'm up to Jack's $5. I guess that might have been a little bit ago. Oop, there's the jump. I knew the jump was coming. Let's see here. You mostly watch my videos on mobile, so I still get ads. Yeah, that's where a lot of our ad impressions come from, are people watching on mobile. People watching on desktop, it's like a 99% ad block. People watching on desktop. I don't block ads on YouTube for the very simple reason that if I bothered to click on your video to watch it, I feel like you deserve revenue from me. The only reason that I block it on websites is because sometimes, I don't even block it on all websites, but the reason I have ad block for some websites is because the ads are annoying. Pop-ups and things that take me away from the site. Like, that stuff's annoying. YouTube ads aren't that bad. It's just a little video that you can skip, or a little banner ad that pops up. Like, even on the short ones you can't skip, right? The ones that are 15 to 30 seconds. Oh, it's like the length of a commercial. Who cares? Just watch it and enjoy the video. That's the way I feel. Like, I don't mind video ads is basically what I'm saying, in comparison to ads that some websites run. So, interstitial ads, I hate those. Those are like the worst. I mean, the worst ads are the ones that pop up and then all of a sudden you're downloading something. Viruses and stuff, that's obviously the worst. But be a Uber driver YouTuber. Can't be an Uber driver because literally I would not be allowed to be an Uber driver because I have kids. My 3-year-old would have to be with me, and you can't have children present with you in the car when you're an Uber driver. It's a liability. They will not hire you. Like, you can, someone else's kids, if they're in the car, fine, but you can't have your own 3-year-old in there while you're doing Uber. You can't do it. It's a liability. And yeah, I know that because I've applied. Can't do it. Not right now, anyways. Let me see. Yeah, Pandora gives you... Yeah, Pandora is really... I'm glad Pandora changed that. Made it so if you purposely watch a 30-second ad, you can get like an hour of free streaming and free skips. The free skips are really nice. I still use Pandora for that reason. Spotify is better than Pandora overall as a service and a program, but Pandora is completely free, and I will stick with it because of that. I don't mind the ads, just so I can get my music for free. Have I played Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition on Xbox? No. I haven't played it at all on any platform. Not on my phone, not on Xbox, not on Switch. And if I played it now, it would be for Switch. I think it's $40 on Switch, or is it $30 on Switch? One of the two. What's up, Nino Blaro? My sound is clear? No buzzing? Good. Well, I could tell over here that there's not any background noise, but there was some bass buzzing, and I've noticed it in some of my voiceover videos lately as well, and that's with the new mixers. I'm not... But then the podcast audio that got put up on Patreon was recorded with the same equipment, and it's crystal clear. Not the video, but the actual like audio, and you extract it from the video. I wonder if there's an issue with how my audio is being encoded on YouTube. No, because I hear it locally too. I do hear it locally, so I don't know. As long as my voice is coming through clear enough and it's not too distracting, I guess it's not a big deal. I'm also trying to keep... One thing I noticed helps is keeping my decibels a little lower. So when I used to be hitting the red all the time on here, I think is when it was at the worst. But now that I only hit the yellow, I'm trying to make it so I only hit yellow in my videos, and I keep the audio a little lower. I've noticed that a lot of the buzzing, it goes away a little bit doing that too. So it could just literally be one of those, you turned it up too loud, and because of that, it's creating like this giant wave of picking up. I mean, it could just literally be picking up fans and other noises in my office because I just have the gain too high. Like, you come to think of it, that might be actually what it is. That doesn't make any sense though, because I used to have the computer in the even closer. Anyways, maybe it's because it's not sound dampened in here. That could be it. Ninjala. Oh, Ninjala. I love Ninjala so much. I was only able to play like the same 4 characters One stage at E3, but I did it for like 2.5 hours straight. It was so good. Ninjala is such a good game. I can't wait for that to come out next year. It does not have a release date yet, except for just early 2019. I talked about the cat already. Let's see here. Oh, Thark. Sorry. I missed that you had a statement with your super chat. It says, could the N64 patent be for the online service instead? There's a SNES controller there leaked by data miner, so this could be for the N64 there. I doubt it. Here's why I doubt it. We're not going to see SNES games on there until sometime in 2019 at best. Why would they trademark the N64 now when we're not even remotely close to N64 games being on that service? I would not expect N64 games on the service till 2020, 2021. It's going to be a long time. So it's highly likely it's going to be for the Classic Edition. Because, again, they've been doing the Classics. They're clearly a success. They're clearly going to keep doing them. So there's no reason to think that that trademark at this time would be for the Switch. It just doesn't make any sense. Not right now, anyways. Not based on their current release slate and their scheduled games. It makes no sense for it to be for Switch in the moment. Ninjala needs more attention. The problem is the demo they keep bringing around for Ninjala is the exact same demo. So all we're doing is getting the exact same information about that game all the time. The reason Ninjala is not getting more attention is I have nothing else to talk about. I talked at length about Ninjala. I gave glowing impressions of Ninjala. But I even called it the next Splatoon, for crying out loud. But there's nothing new to talk about. Nothing's changed. So I have nothing else to say. And that's what sucks. I wish there were more updates. I wish there was something more substantial. But we just don't have anything else to talk about it right now. Let's see here. Do I like the N64 controller? Never hated it. I mean, yeah, obviously it's like you need 3 arms, but do you? It's just meant for multiple controls, you know? Obviously, the DualShock at the time was a much better design to get a D-pad and joystick in, but I don't know, something about that trigger where it was. I really like that trigger. It felt like a true trigger. I don't know if that makes like, you know, like here's like a off-brand Xbox controller. Like, I don't know, something about these. Like, I know they're called triggers, but it just doesn't feel as triggery as the N64 one does. I don't know. I can't really describe it. If you've ever held an N64 controller and you're holding that middle part, like, it feels like you're holding the gun. It's really interesting for shooters. But I don't know. I liked the N64 controller. But here's the thing. I almost never use the D-pad. So, I mean, I guess you could just cut off that part of the controller for me, but I don't know. I felt like it added balance to the weight anyways. So I guess that was nice. Plus, it's just got that, it's like an instant classic design. Like, you can't confuse, that's an N64 controller. You can't really confuse what an N64 controller looks like. I'm here because I need to waste time and I'm not in the mood for gaming or movies. Nice. Yeah, I'll probably watch, season 2 of Iron Fist is out on Netflix. I'm like 2 episodes in. I'll probably watch 1 episode before I go to bed. That's right, I'll be up to like 1 or 2 a.m. But I'll be fine. I will be fine. I'm also trying to cut down on my soda consumption. Not that I'm quitting soda, but I'm cutting it back significantly. I'm trying to cut my consumption in half per day, and then eventually cut that in half, and get down to basically where it's a can a day at most. Just use like a glass of coffee as a pick-me-up, if and when I need it. And that, for me, is really, really good. The rest of the time, it's going to be like water, juice. Not a lot of juice, because there's a lot of sugar in a lot of juices, but, you know, this kind of water actually really helps transition because of the fizziness of it, like soda. And it's way better for me than pop. Way the hell better than me for pop. And then, obviously, plain water. Been drinking a lot more of that stuff. That's just a me looking out for my health a little bit. Smite might come to Switch and high res is behind it. That'd be really sweet. You want City Skylines too, Edward? Nice. Arena of Valor on Friday with you? Is it free to play? Yes, it's free to play on Switch. Yep, that's why I can say, hey, I'm playing on a Switch, because like my next game on Switch is actually Arena of Valor, but I don't have to buy Arena of Valor. So, let me see here. What's my other channel? I already linked it. One of the mods can link it again if they want. My other channel. It's already been linked before. With the new update, it fixed the battery drain issue on some controllers. Really? Alright, scroll down here. NRJ Prime, Jansky. Nate-tendo, all those names for my... It can't call it Nate-tendo. You can't do Nate-tendo. Here's why you can't do Nintendo. I already have a Nintendo channel. It would not make sense to theme my other channel after Nintendo when this channel's themed after Nintendo. That could be a rebranding for this channel at some point down the line, but it wouldn't make sense. Oh, and believe me, there's some people that have said, why don't you just rebrand this channel and do more than Nintendo here? I get it. It's a fair point. This channel would grow a lot faster if I did that, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for that kind of drastic change. Just don't think I'm ready to do that kind of thing yet. It's hard enough for me to cover Nintendo. At least my other channel is just whatever I feel like doing whenever I feel like doing it. Whereas here it's like, nah, I got dedications and obligations to do certain content here. And plus I love Nintendo, so we're gonna stick at it. I hate clickbait title. What are you talking about, Hong? What clickbait title? I hope you're not talking about the title of the stream. It's literally a late night chat with people asking me anything they want. So, I mean, if that's clickbait because it made you click, I guess I'm sorry. Have I ever seen all of the Zelda statues from First 4 Figures? I really want the Wind Waker boat. Yes, I've seen them all. Own none of them. Wish I had the money to own them because they're amazing. I don't know where the hell I would put them. I honestly don't have space for them. But I want them anyways. I would create space for them. I'd like cut a big thing out of my wall and build shelving into the wall just so I could display them. Like, oh, those look so good. So good. Have I played Dark Souls yet for Switch? Nope, I missed all the test slot times. Sucks too. I downloaded it, planned to play it, and then just I could never find time while it was up to play it. That's why I wish these online tests would last like the whole weekend. Just stay up instead of doing like time slots. Do it for like a whole weekend. I know they're trying to push load, but I don't know. Just personally, I would like to see test things like this last for longer periods of time, like a whole day. Let's see here. I don't know what question you're talking about. Do I still have my Xbox One? I did until 3 weeks ago. I realized I hadn't turned it on in a while, and I needed some money at that moment. It wasn't like an emergency. Like I didn't need to sell all my accessories or anything. But I could have used a little extra money at the time, so I sold it off. And I justified selling it off at the time because I want to pick up the X. And I know I want to pick up the X either this year or early next year. So, and I want to pick up a PlayStation 4 Pro as well. So since I want to pick up those systems, I don't really need the OG because I don't think I'm going to be playing the OG at this point until I can already afford the new ones. So that's why I kind of justify getting rid of it because it kind of became a dust collector for me over the last few months. I was going to use it for Madden, but then I got Madden on PC, so I didn't need it for that either. So I will get it back eventually, get another Xbox because Game Pass is a really slick service and I love it. But for now, I'm Xbox One-less until I can save up enough money for an X and or a Pro. Probably get them used, I'm assuming, just to save a little more money, but we'll see. Depends on what condition they're in. You tell me the game you want and I will get it. I can't do that, Matthew. Here's why I can't do that, Matthew. I don't tell people to buy me stuff. Like, I don't like be like, hey, you, over there, buy me this thing. No. You just buy me it and hope I don't have it. I don't really... I mean, right now, I only have 3 physical games. I have Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I have NBA 2K19, and I have the Labo, the first Labo kit, the Variety kit. And then I know I'm going to be getting Mario Party. Plan to get Starlink Battle for Atlas, then Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and then Smash. I can tell you right now, all of those games I'm buying myself, physical versions. So, besides that, I don't know if I'm going to get to any of my games I lost. Like, as an example, did you see my plan to get Breath of the Wild again somewhere in there? Or my plan to get Super Mario Odyssey? And stuff? Like, I don't know if I'm going to even pick those games up again this year. So, chances are the best games to get for me, if you're thinking about it, are probably games I used to have that I don't have right now. 1-2 Switch, Puyo Puyo Tetris, The Binding of Isaac, Afterbirth Plus. Just so many games I don't have anymore that I used to have. One game, I could tell. Here you go, Matthew. You don't have to get me this. It's on my I want to get it list, but because of the other games coming out, I'm probably not going to pick it up. Just Dance 2019. That's right, folks. I'm a Just Dance kind of guy. I kind of want it, but I think based on where my finances are landing over the next few months, I don't think I'm going to be able to pick it up. Especially if I get the P.O. Box. So the P.O. Box would be taking an ability to buy a game away from me. Because I would be using that money in the P.O. Box. Because it's like $90, it's like $30 a month. Isn't that crazy? $30 a month for a P.O. Box? For them to just hold my mail at the mail place and then go pick it up. $30 a month. But whatever. It's life. There's cheaper P.O. boxes in some other areas, but then those areas are more expensive to live in. So you give and you trade offs on cost of living. GU King of Heart. Even though Nintendo made a cancer patient happy, they still did it for the publicity, even if Nintendo themselves didn't make any tweets about it. I disagree. I disagree on that. Nintendo drew zero attention to this, not just tweets. If Chris Taylor had not mentioned one thing about his play session, we wouldn't even know it happened. We wouldn't even know. Chris Taylor is the only reason we know it even happened. So I completely disagree on it. Nintendo didn't make a big deal out of it. They didn't even draw attention to it. They just did it because it's the right thing to do. You could talk about, oh, it's for publicity. That's just like saying that Bethesda does the Make-A-Wish stuff because it's good publicity. It's good PR. Sure, it is good publicity and it is good PR, but that's not why they're doing it. It's not going to make them sell more games. Them going to the cancer patient's house to let them play Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is not going to increase the sales of Switches or Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. There's no financial benefit to doing it. You do it because it's the right thing to do. Just like Bethesda does the Make-A-Wish stuff, because it's the right thing to do. It's not about money. It's not about publicity. It's just about doing something kind for other human beings. So I completely disagree with your take on this, that they did it for the publicity when there's nothing. It's not just a tweet. Nothing. There's not even Nintendo branding in the damn images. It's just a guy in his bed with his friends playing Smash. There's not even a Nintendo rep in the photo. So, I completely disagree with that. That's being extremely disingenuous to the act of kindness. That both Nintendo and Bethesda did. Very disingenuous. You can feel free to feel that way if you want, but that's not why they did it. They did it because attention was drawn to Nintendo about it, and it was the right thing to do. Because bottom line is, if they did it for publicity, they would have publicized it. They've publicized charity events and stuff before, so they would have publicized it, but they didn't. If they wanted to make a big public deal out of it, they would have, but they didn't. They just did it because it was the right thing to do. Obviously not that the person would care, as I think Jack pointed out. Even if they did do it for publicity, do you think the guy cares? Not about whether or not Chris Taylor cares. He doesn't care. You got to play Smash. It's awesome. Nintendo didn't give the bloke E3 Smash for PR. It was because they can and because they didn't want they wouldn't have got negative PR. Here's the thing. Nintendo, if they would have never let Chris Taylor play the game, there wouldn't have been any backlash on Nintendo. Because one, Nintendo would have never publicly commented on it. And two, Nintendo's not obligated to do anything like that, and there's not any real expectation for a company to do that. It's more so if they do it, that's a really nice thing of that company to do. But no one really expects a company to do that. So it's one of those where you can make the request, but you're not really going to get mad if the request is denied, kind of thing. You know, if they never would have let Chris play the game, they would have never let Chris play the game. It sucks, but Nintendo really wouldn't have got any backlash for that. So, just like Bethesda wouldn't get backlash for it either. If anything, Bethesda might be the company more likely for backlash because they do the Make-A-Wish stuff. So they already have a history of doing a lot of this stuff. Nintendo's done it a few times, but they haven't been doing it as long or as often as Bethesda has. Anyways. Let me see here. Mark Boohager? Sorry if I butchered that. Says, I'm sorry if I asked already here. It's barely 7 a.m. at work already, so just tuned in. What do you think about the Super Mario Party single Joy-Con only policy? I think it... The fact that you play with the single Joy-Con doesn't bother me. The fact that you can't play it in full-on handheld mode like this bothers me a little bit, but ultimately I probably wasn't going to play it like that anyways. I think I like that they're fully dedicated to motion controls because I think the best motion control games, such as Wii Sports Resort, are so good because the entire game is dedicated to motion controls. They're not trying to hold it back so they can fit it around, you know, a face button layout. They're literally built on motion. And I think that's going to work to this game's advantage when it comes to how good the motion control minigames are. So the fact that the single Joy-Con doesn't bother me, just like it doesn't bother me it's single Joy-Con for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. None of that bothers me. I think the part that sucks about it is I know it's going to limit sales to some extent. I don't know how much it's going to limit it, but it's going to limit it to some extent. There's people who are not going to pick it up now because they can't play it like this. Or people who just don't like motion controls who aren't going to pick it up. So I think it's limiting in that regard, but I also think we're probably going to end up with a better game for it. Or a better game. Let me rephrase that. It's not that Mario Party games were never good before motion controls. But if Nintendo wants to do motion controls, the best version we could possibly get of a game that has motion controls in it is for Nintendo to fully dedicate to it. So I think since they are set on using motion controls for minigames in this, that honestly, going all out's the best direction. And so I'm glad to see that that's what they're doing. Not everyone's going to be glad with it, though. And I understand. I get it. But not going to bother me. Now, that doesn't mean the minigames are going to be good. Doesn't mean the game's going to be good. It could still suck. But I'm still of belief that the best chance it has at not sucking while using motion controls is to just dive all in. Go all in. Just dive into the deep end and hope you come out the other side looking good. Oh, the Note 9 you can install ad blocker. Yeah, you can do that. You can actually do that on Apple too. I don't think you can do it on Safari, but if you get Chrome, you can get ad blocker on that. Or on Apple products, there's also specific browsers you can download that already have ad blocker installed. So yeah, you can get ad blocker on mobile devices. The thing is, most people don't have ad blocker on their device. And if people are using the apps, it doesn't matter. Like if people are watching my live stream through the YouTube app, there's no ad blocker on that. So that if they're watching it through their browser, that's going to be up to them if they added ad blocker. But in general, most of the people, based on the stats I have anyways available to me, most of the people that watch my videos, it's like 97% of people that watch my videos through mobile see ads. So it's different on PC. People go out of their way on PC to install ad blocker. Not as many people go out of their way on phones to do it. Plus, since we, as I said, a lot of us use apps. Let me see here. Ads are degenerate. Let the people too lazy to get ad block indirectly pay the websites to tubers. It all works out. Degenerate? What? I don't understand what you're saying, Bob Bill. The worst ads are the TikTok ads. Oh. Or like, or the ads that pop up and say you need to fill out a survey to even view that page. Oh. Those are the worst. You don't see those as often unless you're going to questionable websites, but sometimes you'll see them on a legit website and you're like, really? Now you have some websites that are like, hey, if you don't whitelist our website, we're not going to let you view it. Now you can go into the code and you can edit that out, but still, I get why they're doing it. As long as they don't have intrusive ads, it doesn't bother me. I don't mind seeing ads on websites as long as they're not intrusive. $30 for the Pocket, the Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, which is more than the vanilla game on any other platform. That's not a surprise. Hello, Switch Tax. Although I don't think it's a physical. I don't think they have a physical version of it, do they? I think it's digital only. So it is a little weird to see that it's higher than price than other games. Oh, wait. You mean a higher price than the OG Final Fantasy 15? Yeah, but that game was $60 when it first came out. Pocket Edition, as long as it's priced the same on the other platforms, that could just be a general complaint about the price, but it's not really a Switch specific complaint if it's the same price on other platforms. Premium is directly paying. Watching ads is indirectly paying. Yeah, if you get like YouTube Red, stuff like that. I don't even know what the CPM average is off a YouTube Red viewer. It doesn't really tell me. It just says this is your YouTube Red avenue for the month, which on my channel it's like $20 a month. It doesn't really account for much, but let me see. I get ads of something about Toon Blast. I've seen some Toon Blast ads. What do you think about Sega Ages, Sonic and Sonic Mania, the Arcade Archives, Excitebike, and NES version? I think what's interesting, not about the Sega Ages, Sonic and Sonic Mania. Like Sonic Mania is fine. That's a standalone game. It's on its own. That's great. But the Sega Ages stuff, I think is awesome. It's just a way to deliver classic games from Sega, and that's fine with me. I love it. What I thought was weird was when they put the NES version of Excitebike in Arcade Archives, which I get. Like, Excitebike was an arcade game, but most of us remember it from the NES. It's kind of like, man, that felt like a kind of game that should be on the service, right? And they could still put it on the service, but now you're going to have people that buy it for $8. They're going to be like, oh, wait, now you're going to add it to the service when I already paid $8 for it? What the hell, man? So I don't know. And then that also gets, but wait, now if they offer it through the service and they offer it standalone, look, that's what we want. We want to be able to buy the game or rent the game. And I get that. I don't know. I love Excitebike, by the way. I played the hell out of it when I was a kid. But, yeah, you like the trigger, too, on the N64. Nice. Do you think Nintendo will stop at the N64 Classic, or will they keep going to the GameCube and Wii? I think N64 might be it for home consoles for a little bit. They might go to GameCube someday, but I think that's going to be a bit. I think after N64, they're going to start looking at the Game Boy line. Start releasing like a Game Boy Classic. And maybe there might even be two variations. They might give you the OG Game Boy Classic and then a Game Boy Color version of that. And then obviously, from there, they have Game Boy Advance and DS they can hit up as well. Before then, they finally dip back into, say, I don't know, a GameCube Classic or something like that, or the NES Classic 2 with 30 other great NES games. They could do that as well. That's what's interesting about limiting the games that are on each one is it actually opens the door to release a second version of it that happens to have more games. So I don't think that we're going to see a Wii Classic anytime soon, though. I don't think that's something you would see for like another decade or two. It would be a while before they do a Wii Classic. Like, what games used it besides Mischief Makers, Pokemon Stadium, or some of the weird controller methods of GoldenEye? Not a lot. Not a lot of games could use the D-pad with both shoulder buttons plus the trigger plus the joystick. There was very few games where you needed three hands, but there were some. Isn't Excitebike already on the Nintendo Switch Online app? I don't think so. Was it? Maybe it was. Let me look. I haven't loaded up the app. I haven't loaded up the app since I live streamed it. I honestly don't really plan to use the Nintendo Switch NES game stuff hardly ever. Unless I'm playing it with my kids. Which I might play with my kids. It hurts to think about school tomorrow. At least I don't have school. Oh yeah, Excitebike is on the service. Yeah, so that's even weirder. It's on the service and they're selling it. I don't know. I think it's just weird. And thanks, Jack, by the way, for that couple bucks. Didn't stop the. Oh wait, I already read that. The sticks get destroyed after playing Smash and Mario Kart. Dude, I destroyed those sticks. I think it wasn't even that. I destroyed them in Super Mario 64. The sticks were so bad on the N64. It's almost like I almost hope on if they make an N64 Classic that the sticks are just as equally as bad. Like they don't actually improve them. Just for that true classic feel. I want that wobbly stick feel with the white powder, baby. That's what I want. That's what I remember playing as I was a kid. You would have like 6 of those N64 controllers, and only one of them had a good stick left, and all your friends would get to use the crappy wobbly sticks. Oh, yeah, I'm dominating you at Smash. I wonder why. You can't even sprint. Good times. That's the true. That's the N64 I remember. Let me see here. What I do for water is buy a little lemon juice bottle and put a little. I don't like lemon juice, so. Oh, I'm not a lemon juice guy. The flavors I like are like this kiwi strawberry. But here's the thing: when I make it with fresh fruit, like use one of those tumbler ones where you can put like fruit at the bottom or fruit at the top, and you can like mix it up and let it sit in there, and it makes its own little thing. I just think it tastes like crap. It just tastes like crap. Probably because I think I like the artificial flavors more than I like the real flavors. Probably because I've been drinking and eating artificial flavored crap for so long that I just like the artificial flavors better. So these sparkling ice things are actually cheap. They're like $1, which isn't like the cheap. I'd rather they be like 50 cents, but maybe if I go online, maybe I can find them for like a whole case that's a lot cheaper. But this has no sodium. That's a big thing. No sodium. No sugar. Let's see if it's got artificial sweetener. Oh, what are the ingredients here? I guess check if there's artificial sweetener in here. Oh, they do put a tiny bit of artificial sweetener. Tiny bit. It's not much. They do have kiwi juice in here. So there is actual kiwi juice in here. And actual strawberry juice in here. But you know, I'm sure there's stuff mixed into that juice they're not telling you. They added vegetable juice for color. Interesting. There's green tea in here. Then a whole bunch of vitamins. Vitamin B, vitamin A, vitamin D, blah, blah, blah. Anyways. These are actually not that bad for you. There's antioxidants in there. These are not that bad for you. They're just more expensive than just normal water, of course, tap water. But Nate, Tendo can be a Warframe thing. I've never played Warframe, so sure. I'm pretty sure everyone would just associate it with my other channel. What's my most anticipated game coming up? Starlink Battle for Atlas. Get the X and the PlayStation 4 Slim. You don't need both Pro systems. If you're okay with 1080p, I own a Switch and a PlayStation 4 Slim. Thing is, I own a 4K TV. I want 4K systems. I want to play Spider-Man and Uncharted in 4K. And I want to play all of my third-party games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and stuff on the X in 4K as well. Like, basically, the only reason I'd be getting the PlayStation 4 is to play the PlayStation 4 exclusives in 4K on my 4K TV. The reason I would get the X is because it actually plays all the third-party offerings that I don't get on Switch in 4K on my 4K TV. Better than the Pro does. That's my justification for buying both. And I'm cool with that. Yes, I can be a graphics whore when I want to be. And if I'm going to bother to play games on another system that isn't Switch, darn right I'm pushing 4K to the best I can. I already do it on my PC. Why do you think I have Madden on my PC? Because currently, it was better than the OG Xbox. So, and I still use Xbox controllers on it. So I could be that way. I totally get the appeal of it. I'm a big tech enthusiast, man. Huge tech enthusiast. But obviously, I can have tons of fun with something that's less than that. It's not the only thing I care about. But if I'm going to do that, then I might as well. If I'm going to play those games on those platforms, I might as well get the ones that look the best. Just like if there was a 4K Switch, of course I'd have the 4K Switch. There just isn't an option for that. and I'm okay with that. But if there is an option, I'm going to get the option. Let's see here. $5. We have $5 Super Time. Jackie says, I'm actually surprised how much I've been playing the NES games on the Switch app. Super Mario 3 is great. Like, I like the NES games. I don't know. I'm one of those people that, like, I've played these games a zillion times. I move on. There's that nostalgia that makes you want to, like, just try it out for a moment. But that's about it. As I said, I'll probably play them a little bit with my kids. But that, I mean, maybe that'll be the next Prime Family episode. Like, introduce, like, my kids already play, like, the NES Classic and the SNES Classic, but some of the games on here that maybe aren't on there, maybe introduce my kids to them. I don't know, or games they haven't played yet, just to see what they think. I'm sure they love them. If I'm being completely honest, I know they would love Super Mario Bros. 3. They would be really into that game. They like platformers a lot. Let's see here. Really? Just Dance 2019? Fun fact, one of the first games I bought for my Switch was Just Dance 2017? Or 2016? No, it was 2017. It was the 2016 game, but it came out late because Switch was, didn't come out till later. Love that game. Don't play it as much anymore because I want the new music. I gotta get into the new stuff. It's kind of like getting Just Dance every year is kind of like getting my the new Now CD for me. It's like, yeah, that's my introduction to all the current music. I just don't have anything that can play music CDs anymore in my house. Isn't that weird? I grew up with music CDs, and there's nothing in my house that can play them anymore. Crazy. You can have your Just Dance. I just want more Elite Beat Agents. Good game. Yeah, Just Dance. That's another thing. It's a workout for me. I would actually work out more if I had the new Just Dance than I do currently. Like, do workouts in my house because I would do it with my kids. It can be like a family event where every day, we play Just Dance for 30 minutes and work up a sweat. It can be a lot of fun. I could technically do it with the Just Dance I already have, but honestly, I need some new music. Motion controls are a novelty. Nintendo are unwilling to let go. So much cost could have been saved considering how much the Joy-Cons take to make. Yeah, I mean, sure. I like motion controls, so I'm glad they're here. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I've loved motion controls since the inception of them. In fact, I wish Breath of the Wild's control scheme was more like Skyward Sword's. There, I said it. Mic drop. Number one criticism of Breath of the Wild. The controls aren't as good to me as Skyward Sword. And now I just lost like 20, 30, 40, 50 subs. Anyways. Do I have experience with 8-bit Do controllers on Switch? Nope, don't own a single one of them. I've never even owned an 8-bit Do controller ever. Do I think an Xbox Classic will come out? No. I'll tell you why. Xbox has has compatibility with like 80% of the OG Xbox library, and a whole bunch of the Xbox 360 library as well. Like, it's a true backwards compatibility. You don't have to buy a service for it. Yes, they have a service that gives you some of those games, but you can literally stick an OG Xbox game disc into your platform, and it's fully backwards compatible. Like, Xbox is the king of backwards compatibility. Honestly, if you ever like 360 and an OG Xbox and you want to play those games, just get an Xbox One. It plays all the new games, plus it plays all the old games. It's awesome. It's awesome, awesome, awesome. I wish that all backwards compatibility worked that way. I understand with Nintendo, with the cartridges, it's a little more difficult, but PlayStation could do something like that. They just don't. Sucks. Like, that's true backwards compatibility. I'm really glad that Xbox does that. So that's why I don't think there'll be an Xbox Classic, just because they have full backwards compatibility. So they're just not going to probably focus on that. Basically, because it has full backwards compatibility, the used market for Xbox games is extremely healthy. eShop version of the Verse mode or something is still a waste of money, though. Do you have a? Oh, you already read that. Um, I'm caught up to the chat. Holy crud! What's your definition of triggered? Yeah, Bob, Bill, if you think I get triggered by something you said tonight, you haven't seen me triggered. As some of my regular viewers in this chat can attest to, you can tell when I'm triggered, and it's significantly worse than anything that has happened tonight. Significantly worse. I'm like, you can tell. Trust me. When I'm actually triggered, you'll know the difference between when I'm really triggered and then when I'm just having a passionate conversation about something you said. Did you know Just Dance 2019 is releasing on Switch, Wii, Wii U, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, first Just Dance in years and years not to be on PlayStation 3? Huh. PlayStation 3 sales must be bad, and it'll be on your mobile device as well. Yeah. Crazy. PlayStation 3 sales for the last few versions must have been really, really bad. One of my 3 most wanted ultimate newcomers. For you, it's Travis, Sora, and Rhythm Heaven character. Sora would be cool. Even though I haven't played the Kingdom Hearts games much outside of Kingdom Hearts 1.5 something on DS or whatever it was. Yeah, it would be cool to see Sora in there. Although I would like to see that with the confirmation of Kingdom Hearts 3 coming to Switch. That would be so sweet. It's not gonna happen, but Sora would be nice. I think it would be cool to have. I mean, here's the thing: we talk about my most wanted characters. I mean, it starts with Banjo-Kazooie and Conker. We're just not gonna get them, but those are my most wanted. They're always gonna be my most wanted until I don't know it magically happens. So that's 2 right there. And then after that, the third can be really anything at this point. I think Skull Kid being added in would be really, really cool. You know, Birdo being added in would be really, really cool. There's so many characters you could throw on that third spot to put in there. The list is really infinite, but I mean, Banjo-Kazooie and Conker are like at the top upper echelon. Been wanting those games in wanting those characters in since Smash came out on the N64, for crying out loud. Like, I've been wanting them in from the very beginning, and I'm still wanting them in, and I'm going to keep wanting them in probably for the rest of my life because they'll never be in. Just telling Nate Zelda 2 isn't good. That won't trigger me. Can't really get triggered by a common opinion on something that I disagree with. It doesn't really trigger me. It's just, yeah, that's what everybody says. So, you're triggered for a normal person. Sure. I guess. Here's the thing, I can't tell you what normal is. I can just tell you what normal is for me. And for me, I haven't been triggered tonight. Just saying. Just saying Billy Bob Bill, Bob Bill, Bob Joe. Fanboys. Fanboys can trigger me. I've definitely been triggered by fanboys in the past. On all sides of the fence. Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, and PC. They've all triggered me at some point. You know what's nice when you don't compare yourself to other people, Bob Bill? You don't really know what normal is, because who cares? No one wants to be normal. Normal's boring. I'm refusing me. We are releasing Smash Bros. Ultimate on the new 3DS, meaning no Ice Climbers or Ridley. Yeah, that wouldn't happen. Since they already announced all those characters. But yeah, the reasoning that they didn't have some of those characters because of the 3DS version, and the 3DS version was really good, but obviously there's technological reasons that they couldn't have certain characters in. And anyways, hey, it's Sunday. Hey, it's Monday. Hey, honey, get your ass to bed. Hey, it's Sunday. Hey, it's Monday. Get your ass to bed. Okay, I caught up to the chat. You're behind on Nintendo news that almost never happens. I know almost nothing about the online service either. Is this what it's like having multiple consoles? Yes. Yes. That when you own multiple consoles, it's really easy to get behind on news. on all the consoles. All right. Well, now that we caught up to the chat, I think that's going to be it for tonight. Not just because Yulia popped in there because she somehow woke up, probably to eat because she was hungry, but just because that's going to be all she wrote. I do want to give a shout out to all of the people who super chatted and stuff tonight. So there was the 2 from Jack, the 5 from Jack, the 5 from Thark, or the 8 Thark, the 2 from Jack, the 2 from Jack, the 5 from Jack, and we also had some donations. Let me see here. Oh, we had some bits. I think there were a couple hundred bits over on Twitch from Twilight Darkness Dragon E0. Mac Like a Truck over there says, "Are you keeping up with the EA gambling stuff in Belgium? I heard about it, but I haven't read anything, know anything. Nothing more than what's known publicly about it." So we had a donation from Matthew earlier for $5 as well. And I thought there was another donation in there somewhere. There's a $2 donation somewhere as well. That for some reason it isn't on my screen. But whoever that was, thank you as well for that $2 donation. No, it's not because of Yulia. Trust me. I want to get triggered. The current consoles are on a terrible decline, that the guy said the other night. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. All right. Catch you guys tomorrow.